I've had my BRZ here for a little over a year now. It's my one and only car, it's my daily, so it does everything, or at least it has to. It's even been coast to coast across America, shipped coast to coast, not driven coast to coast. I actually bought it brand new from the dealership, so untouched. And me being a car person and with most car people, I couldn't help but touch it a little.
What?
FBI, open up! So in this video, I wanted to show you what I've touched, what I've done to this car, and you let me know your thoughts on it, if it was a good choice or not. And if you are someone that's thinking of getting a BRZ or 86 or already have one, maybe these can give you some ideas of what to touch on your car. Starting off with the most obvious, I got new wheels on it. These are the Enkai RPF ones, the most iconic wheels out there, but also because I couldn't afford TEs. These are 18 by 8, still on the stock tires because I got the limited trim. I have the Michelin Pilot Sports on 215, which is a lot slimmer than I expected. So when it's time for me to change tires, I think I'm definitely gonna go a bit wider. And I don't know if this was obvious, but I am now lowered. I'm actually on the stock height. And also I think it's because the way these wheels are made, the characteristics of this wheel, the outer rim is pretty thick. So it kind of looks like the wheel is smaller than it is, but these are 18 inches, but they don't look like they're 18. So because of that, I think it makes my car look even higher than it actually is. And I also got gold for that classic, iconic Subaru gold and blue combo. Here's some modifications that is not so obvious. One of the few things I did immediately after I got the car was get PPF. People always ask, like, was PPF worth it? It's kind of expensive. This is only like a $30,000 car. Short answer to me is yes. I really like this blue, so I wanted to do everything in my power to protect it as much as I can. And when I say protect with PPF, it's kind of like a little asterisk, because yes, PPF protects against scratches and rock chips, but it doesn't protect against dents. So I had a situation where when the car was still brand new, like less than 5,000 miles, I think, I came out of Walmart, there was a shopping cart kissing my door, and I was like, I don't even know what to feel, but I was like, wait, I have PPF, I'm good, no scratches. Upon further inspection, I had the biggest freaking dent ever on my passenger door. And keep in mind, again, this car was like brand new, like less than 5,000 miles on it. I'm like, who does this? This is fucked up. I didn't go through my PPF anything, but the panel was dented, and I was like, I don't care, I'm paying whatever I need to get this fixed. And luckily, the person I went to, he made it look brand new and almost as if it never happened. I got it fixed on like a Friday, right? So then I went out on like Sunday or a Monday, I believe. I went to some parking lot, and I guess it was busy on the weekend. So this was a Sunday. They were busy on a weekend, and he was like, all right, just park right here. And I was like, I wasn't comfortable at first, but like whatever, I already paid. And I knew it was like between two cars. I'm like, all right, maybe people would be careful. I come back, and somebody opened their freaking door onto my passenger door again, and it's dented again. And I was just like, do I go get it fixed again or what? Like like my car was brand new basically again on Friday, and Sunday somebody dented the door again. People were like, you know, the blue Subarus are cursed, like it has to have some sort of imperfection or like some sort of damage on it, otherwise it's gonna keep happening. So as of right now, I just left that dent there to kind of be like, all right, this is my one curse on it. So is it worth it? To me, yes, because it gives me that peace of mind and kind of permission to be a bit careless, and the PPF will be there to protect me if I'm ever like driving through a dust bowl, I guess. I don't know, is that a thing in California? Or when I'm washing the car, the sections that are PPF, I don't really have to like bucket it. I just be like, you know, whatever. In the future, if I get a car that's more expensive, more blue, more valuable to me, then yeah, I'll get the whole thing PPF. The next somewhat obvious thing, I guess, is I have XPEL tint all around. I have 30 or 35% all around. Even the windshield is 70% because summer is brutal in the East Coast and West Coast. I have sensitive skin, so this tint helps a lot, not even for darkness. I don't really care that much for the darkness, but for protecting against the UV rays, especially driving around this brutal hot ass sun in SoCal with like 12 hours of daylight. The car still gets hot when it's parked outside for a long time, but when I'm driving and the sunlight is coming into the car, there isn't like heat radiating off my face or like the rays like burning my hands and stuff. When I was still doing research on this car before getting it, I came across the issue that I'm sure you and everybody else in the world knows about now, the infamous RTV in the oil pan. Some people say it doesn't matter, some people say their cars blew up, this and that. To, I guess, be more peace of mind, when I went to get my first oil change at 4,000 miles, I did have the shop drop my oil pan and look through it and see if it was an issue. And it did find excess RTV that was spilling out on the inside of the pan. None of it dropped off because this is a new car, and none of it was in my oil pickup. But because they saw RTV hanging off on the inside of the pan, I was like, screw it, let's just get this fixed now. So they scraped off the old RTV and resealed the oil pan with the proper amount of RTV so that none of it is hanging out in the oil pan at all, so that it wouldn't fall off and be in the oil pickup. And this will probably be debated for like the next 4 generations, whether it is an issue or is it not. But I was like, screw it, whatever, let me just get this fixed now and not have to worry about bigger troubles down the line. Another not so obvious modification is the intake diaper. For the North American cars, we have this additional charcoal filter on our intake that is supposedly for emissions or something, because the overseas one, the Japanese twins, they don't have it, and you can actually buy the intake part from Japan without the filter, but it's like $100 to ship it over, even though the part only costs like 30-40 bucks. So instead of paying $100 for a piece of plastic, what many people do here is we just take a razor blade and just cut it out. And supposedly it adds like 5 horsepower, but does it really? I don't know. But just any way to help the car breathe better and more should be a net positive. This next mod is actually pretty helpful and one of the cheapest one, and that's replacing the factory clutch spring. The thing is, the factory clutch spring from these cars is just too strong. It makes your clutch spongy. It just keeps pushing back the clutch pedal too much, and it's just, you don't really have that feel and feedback of the clutch pedal and where the bite point is. I didn't think anything of it at first because this is my first manual car, so I'm like, I don't know, looks normal to me, I guess. But after installing an aftermarket clutch spring, I'm like, whoa, this makes a huge difference. Is this what it's supposed to actually feel like? Because I've been missing out this whole time, and I can more definitively and more accurately find the bite point now on my car. Whereas before it was just like muscle memory and I just knew this is where it was, even though I didn't like feel it through my feet on the clutch pedal. Long story short, everybody gets the one from M-Tech, which is like 30 bucks. But instead, I found out on Reddit that you actually can get a pack of 3 for 15 bucks from this hardware company called McMaster Car. And it's the exact same feeling, the exact same thing. You only need 1 spring anyway, so buy 1 pack and give the other 2 away to a friend or at a car meet or something. I don't see any reason why anybody would not do it. It only costs 5 bucks and some lower back pain if you install it yourself. I may have spoken too soon because this next mod I'm gonna mention is also pretty important, and I don't see any reason why anybody would not do this. The blue spherical mirrors on these cars. I've gotten so used to spherical mirrors from this car and my last car, the wide angle ones, that if I drive a car or a rental without them, I'm kind of thrown off and I'm like, I feel like I can't see anything now. But with this one specifically, I would say get the blue one because you sit so low in this car that any car that's higher than a sedan, at night the headlights are just right in your face. Like, yeah, the blue kind of helps with the headlights and the glare, but I would say get it more for the wide angle. It's so wide to the point that if you see the car in your vision parked next to you, right, and you look out the side mirror, you can still see the back of their car, if that makes sense. That's how wide it is, and it definitely helpful, just even for safety. Moving on to what I would say is the best looking part of this car, the rear. I have 2 things here that I would say are some of my favorite mods I've done to this car. First one is my F1 third blinking brake light module. It's not the one that goes on the bottom that all the WRXs and STIs have. This is just a plug and play thing that affects your original third brake light. It blinks when you brake instead of just steady red. And I love this from a safety aspect because people are more aware of a blinking light than just a steady like red light. And the install only took like 10 minutes. And I actually mean 10 minutes, not a 10-minute YouTube video that takes you 3 hours because you're like stuck on this one clip. No, this only took like 10 minutes. And it's not as annoying as the other ones I've seen where like when you hit the brakes, this just keeps blinking for the duration of when you're holding your brakes. No, this is just when you hit the brakes, the first handful of like 5 blinks and that's it, it stays steady. And I've gotten comments that like people are like, oh, this is so annoying. I would hate to be stuck behind you behind traffic. And you know what I would say to that? You know what's more annoying than my blinking red light?
Getting rear-ended.
I thought of the craziest thing that would solve this problem. Change lanes and just don't follow me then.
Are you dumb, stupid, or dumb? Huh?
The second rear mod that is one of my absolute favorites on this car, and also one of the most important, not just for this car, but for any car you get, is an exhaust. This one is called juice pipes. My cold starts are actually super freaking loud, but only for like a minute until the RPMs drop. It's louder than stock, obviously, but it's not like annoyingly loud. driving, it's not like an annoying amount of loud where you can't have a conversation in the car. So I would say it's pretty tame when you're cruising around town and stuff. But when you actually want to get on it, anything above 4,000 RPM, it starts singing. And I mean, it's almost a song because it's not just loud, obnoxious noise. It actually sounds really good. I think the right term for this, it has a really good pitch and tone to it. And another thing I love about this exhaust is that you actually get pops with it. It's just cool that you get it on a stock car because my car is completely stock. It doesn't even have an intake. And also my 4.5-inch tips that come with this exhaust is pretty cool. The last area of this car that I've touched, the last area that I've modded is the interior. Starting off with all the vanity and convenience lighting of this car. I'm upset that this car in 2024 still comes with these like dingy halogen pea colored yellow lights for the interior lighting, for the vanity, and for the door lighting. And I'm even more upset that they actually offer an LED package from the factory. So Subaru is saying like, yeah, we're gonna just put LEDs in for you, but we want you to pay for it. You can buy all of the bulbs off of Amazon. Luckily, they all use the same bulb and you can change the dome lights, the vanity mirror lights, the under the door lights, and the reverse lights. And the reverse lights are white from the factory, but with LEDs, they're even whiter and brighter. Another one of my favorite upgrades of this car that I did is my Rex Speed steering wheel. I love the fact that it's a flat bottom one so that when I clutch in and getting in and out of the car, my knee doesn't hit the bottom of the steering wheel. And for me, getting in and out of this car is hard enough because it's so low that my hip pops every time. I don't know if that's healthy or not. If you are a doctor or a PT, could you let me know? This steering wheel just looks better than the OEM one with the carbon fiber, the perforated leather, the leather with the holes in it, and the red stitching that matches the rest of the car. And this is actually a whole steering wheel replacement. It's not just like the cover that you stitch on yourself. And it also retains all the OEM controls of the steering wheel, like with the media controls, the music, the cruise control, and that stuff. This next thing is kind of silly, kind of stupid, and it isn't specific with this car. This works with any car, and it's actually called the stupid car tray. Because of the lack of space I have in this car, I don't have anywhere to put my phone, my wallet, and all the other stuff in my pocket. And because it's a manual, it doesn't have the extra little cubby in the center. So I used to just throw everything into the passenger seat because it's just me driving most of the time anyways. Apparently the cup holders in the center are for the back seat, and the driver and passenger gets the ones in the doors. But those are too small for me and it doesn't fit in the big ass water bottle, and I just want more cup holders. So the stupid car tray actually gives you 2 more additional cup holders, so it fits my big ass water bottle. And then if I'm like in a store or a restaurant or something, I have more cup holders if I buy more drinks. And there's really nothing special about it. It's just a plastic tray with rubber feet on the bottom, and it turns your passenger seat into a flat level, almost like a table. And again, it sounds so silly, but it's so useful. And this next item is also kind of silly, but again, also very useful. But it's this armrest, elbow rest that's for the manuals. Because it's a manual, it doesn't have the cubby in the center, so it's just an empty space of nothing. And this car doesn't really have like an elbow rest in the center. The center console, you can't really just rest your elbow there, especially when you're shifting. So this like 3M Dawn $5 on AliExpress little pillow, it's actually like made of suede, I think, so it matches with the rest of the car. Now you have an elevated elbow rest when you're shifting. And so that is everything I've touched on this car since getting it brand new untouched. Let me know what you think, and if you're interested in touching your car, hopefully this video gave you some ideas on where to touch, and I will link everything I can in the description below for you to find it easily. And that's it. Catch you on the next one.